In the grim darkness of the far future, existence is horrific. Wars crash across 1,000 Imperial worlds, ravening hordes from the Outer Dark swarm in shoals 1 trillion strong. Dark apostles torture and raise entire worlds in their sacrilegious rites, and if you're exceptionally unlucky, Imperial bureaucracy is the stuff of bloody nightmares unto itself. There are books on these, by the dozens, by the hundreds, novels aplenty to peruse and examine at your leisure. But I don't want to talk about those things. Let's take a look at the bizarre, peculiar, and downright weird ones that don't have the same screen time of other 40k creations. The lesser-known horrors. The things that lurk, that snatch, that prey. Creatures that, in any other galaxy, would be the most appalling creations imaginable. Yet in the setting of Warhammer 40k, they are simply par for the course. That's what we are here for today. The little, and I use that adjective in the absolute loosest sense possible, guys. Without further ado, welcome one and all, I am Azazel, and for better or worse, you have stumbled your way onto my video on the lesser-known horrors of 40k. The filler in the gaps of this incredibly rich and diverse setting. Be prepared now. Steel your hearts and gird your minds as we enter the most horrific place imaginable. The place where hope goes to die and where thirsting gods rack the souls of billions, while directing madness on the stage of our galaxy as easily as puppeteers pull on strings. Welcome to the 41st Millennium. Crotalids. In most ecosystems, there exists a top-of-the-food-chain predator. A nasty, bitey, rough and tough creature that is either too strong, too savage, or just too well-armored for its own damn good. Take a crocodile, for example. Dangerous on both land and in water, strong scaly skin, and a terrifyingly powerful bite force. Well, crotalids are what happens because apparently 40k means things can't be scary enough as they are. Crotalids are crocodiles, if you amped up the rage, the size, the armor, and the teeth. Their only downside being that their teeth grow too much. Yes, hilariously, many crotalids die because their teeth grow too much, straight into their small brains. But wait, it gets worse! Because in this galaxy, that is the only direction that we're heading. Not only are these Floridian swamp puppies so powerful that they can contend with a space marine, but they can swim through the warp. Yes, these packs of crotalids come with the galaxy's best passport and swim through the currents of the warp to find new planets to chomp their jaws into. How they do this defies the knowledge of the Mechanicus, rhyme and reason, and all the laws of gods and men. They'll rarely make a solo entrance either, so if you see one, shoot your friend in the leg and run away as quickly as you can, because crotalids bring their entire family with them. No such news on whether a 40k Steve Irwin has managed to wrestle one yet though, but my money is that a salamander would love to keep one as a pet. Barghesi. What would happen if you shoved the personality of a honey badger into an enormous gorilla? An empire of angry Jimbros, with red eyes, tough hides, and sharpened claws. These fellas would make an orc war boss go, ooh, bit much in it. Violence is their way of life, and they are damned good at it. Punching is their pastime, and if there's nothing more to punch, they'll punch each other. Imagine the Balkans, but in space. Seriously, these creatures are so dangerous and so deadly that the Drukhari, at great risk, attempt to cart away these warriors to be used in their beast pits. But to make them more terrifying, because Cocaine Bear in space wasn't enough, the Imperium are frightened that the Tyranids will get hold of their DNA. Yes, the ravening hordes that threaten to end all life in the galaxy could somehow be made even deadlier by chowing down on some of these fellas. As a consequence of this, the Iron Lords chapter not only have to dedicate themselves to blockading the Barghesi within the Grendel stars, but also holding back Hive Fleet Kraken from swarming in to taste some of the zesty ape flesh. Damned from within, damned from without. But hey, the Iron Lords are a successor chapter to the Iron Hands, and we all know their type of luck. The Call. We've had space crocodiles, space gorillas, and now space bees. Only these ones get their ships from IKEA. The Call are an insectoid race that no amount of raid in this galaxy can get rid of. Their first queen was snatched away by the Eldari, because no one does tricky like the Eldar, and now the new queen and her minions are hell-bent on never letting it happen again. Well played, Eldar, well played. Their chain ships are interconnected smaller modules, allowing them to build enormous craft, and at the same time disassemble and scatter for survival. Who knew that Jenga could be so dangerous? In a stroke of luck, the Call are unable to master any form of warp travel, leaving them relatively small in size. But oh wait, it could never be that simple, of course. These cast rejects from the B-movie found a way to control humans through brain maggots. But more terrifyingly of all, navigators. This, combined with the fact that their Herkel-Dirk ships are now being fitted with parts of Imperial tech origin, means that these honeycomb horrors may well pour out of their empire searching for nectar. Which exterminator is going to take on this job then? The Orc-Red. Horrendous bloodsuckers travelling from place to place, ready to ruin the day, night or afternoon with their presence. But that's enough about my family. New Year is over and they're all gone. But on a similar vein, the Orc-Red are just as slippery, just as hungry, and about as good looking. Because in the dark voids of space, where horror lurks among the stars, what you need is a dark, hungry lamprey ready to scoff up your leftovers, your life, and the odd ship or two. These twisted denizens of space can wrap themselves around an unwary ship, crush it like an aluminium can, and swallow them whole. And of course, these monstrous river terrors gone kaiju are worshipped as gods on a planet called Nab. Hilariously, the locals wear sacks, jump in the rivers, and sing drunken hymns to these horrors. But of course, Imperial xenologists insist that these things aren't real. Could not be real. Is that wishful thinking or incompetence? When it comes to the Imperium, the chance between those two options is a mere coin flip. Brule parasites. One day, a tapeworm and a facehugger got together, watched The Last of Us, became inspired by cordyceps, and decided to create a monster that specializes in squishy hugs and ruining your day. These slimy little buggers can leap straight at your face, and before you can blink, they've set up shop and taken control of your nervous system. Stargate never had these kind of go old on the show. Victims' faces get twisted and taut as the Brule parasite nestles itself into its new home, feeding on the memories, feelings, and flesh of the new host. Even better, they love to keep around their own kind and build communities. So the next time you see some Freemasons wandering around, looking haggard and making odd handshakes, chances are it's just a family of Brule parasites going out for a walk. Ever the selfish buggers, they'll gorge themselves on everything they can and let the host become an emaciated, malnourished husk, until the moment when, fat and plump as a Christmas goose, they'll happily jump ship and grab another body. The abandoned hosts, by now their brains damaged and ravaged by the alien symbiotes, will then volunteer to be on shows like Love Island, Too Hot to Handle, or begin to watch Andrew Tate videos. The Catachan barking toad. Take a toad, give it severe anxiety and the worst farts you've ever smelled, then ramp up both factors to Warhammer 40k levels, and you've got the Catachan barking toad. Seriously, in a galaxy of dangerous amphibians, these terrified little blighters are among the deadliest. Thankfully, they are only found in Space Australia, and the Catachans are experts at recognizing when one of these ugly little things is upset. Things these little toads love includes barking and hiding in dark places. Things they do not like, being disturbed, surprised, or invited to last-minute plans. One wrong move fills these things with terror, so much so that they emit a cloud of toxins that reduces every biological organism within a kilometer into a gooey, formless mass. Mother Nature, however, decreed that the toad itself would succumb to this mist of chemicals that would make Nurgle green with envy. Or greener, at any rate. Yes, a single anxiety attack wipes out this nervous toad and anyone or anything foolish enough to be within shouting distance. So tread lightly and keep your damn voice down. Gem-Jalik, or however you want to pronounce this name. While Lovecraftian horrors are among the norm among the setting of Warhammer 40k, how about Cthulhu in a jar? Okay, it's not an eldritch god, but it's definitely a disturbing creature indeed. All tentacles, slime, and a kick that'll send you sky high until you die. These Squidward gone bad monstrosities were once thought to be warp entities, because obviously in Warhammer anything this creepy is immediately assumed to be not of this universe. In actual fact, these creepy little octonopes breed inside the cooling loops of plasma drives. Indeed, Imperial ships seem to be the reason that these Cephala don't come near me with those tentacles have spread throughout the stars on our ships. Not to be outdone by the weirdness of other alien life forms, these Gem-Jalik, when placed upon a person's head, because obviously that was a necessary experiment in the studies of these creatures, they will inject a potent neurotoxin into the victim's system. The psychoactive nature of this toxin results in an incredible high, and can even function as a truth serum, at least for a period of time until the victim's brain rots away. Still better than being a servitor, I suppose. Wrath Badgers. Do you have any idea how terrifyingly angry this creature has to be? The rage this creature must contain? He's angrier than a 5'5" fella trying to prove he's 5'8". He's angrier than a Scotsman when England win the rugby. He's angrier than a soprano when she's told she has to sing the harmony. And it lives on Fenris! Of all the places in the galaxy, Fenris! The death world with enormous wolves, krakens, sea dragons, trolls. It lives there and it's still earned the wrath part of its name. Honestly, I have zero other information on this creature, but the fact that it lives on Fenris, survives despite the monsters lurking about, and has still carved out a reputation for ferocious violence scares the living shit out of me. Terror Squirrels. Dracula's favorite pet with a split personality disorder. These creatures are nuts, and yes, pun intended. With a name like Squirrels Vampire, what do you expect? These are the type of things that roam the trees around Vlad the Impaler's castle. Part squirrel, part vampire. The trouble is that these creatures are abominably cute. For a great deal of the time, they look like nothing more than flying squirrels. Very tame, very safe, very cute, very demure. It's even incredibly common for members of the Imperium to keep them as pets. But we all know what happens to Mogwai when you feed them after midnight. Once in a while, these creatures will rapidly mutate into feral, blood-sucking carnivores. I imagine that many a pet lover has lost an occasional finger to these furry flying fuckers. Supposedly, they will live one generation as an adorable set of cuddly creatures, only to spawn a generation of insane vampiric creatures. Flip a coin and see which one you end up with. Or just own a cat. Ripper Whips. I love musicals. I've been in musicals. What I do not love is when they come to life in their darkest, creepiest forms. Ripper Whips are animals disguised as trees, becoming the stuff of nightmares, and now I'll never watch Little Shop of Horrors the same way ever again. These tree-like horrors reach to the sky between 7 and 20 meters in height, and for the unfortunate passers-by, their bark is not worse than their bite. Dozens of vines covered in thorns for grip will lash out and snatch up anything it deems snack-worthy nearby. But even better, they come with friends. More than likely, if you manage to evade the first one, you're still in the middle of a bunch of Ents from hell around you in their buffet mangrove. Luckily for the Imperium, and any Canadians hell-bent in looking for a non-Earth alternative to maple syrup, they can only be found on a single planet named Kenov 3. Crossing that one off my travel plans immediately. With that said, thank you for listening. This was just a short one. Please do drop a like, comment or subscribe, and constructive criticism is always welcome. For without you, no one would be listening. And if this video gets a little bit more attention, I'll make some more along this vein. Now do enjoy your day or night, and I hope you've indulged in some escapism from reality. For that's why we are here, isn't it? Until next time.